Hey, all you Star Wars fans out there, thank you so much for checking out my video. This is Finding the Force, where I love making videos about all the treasures and weapons of the Jedi and Sith from our favorite Star Wars movies and TV shows. And I just got back from another super fun trip to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland theme park. And in this video, I'm going to be walking through Galaxy's Edge trying to find all the new merchandise for Season of the Force, which is how Disney Parks is celebrating May the 4th, Star Wars Day. With like 4 or 5 weeks before the actual holiday, they bring out all this cool Star Wars merch and food and popcorn buckets. Let's get started. And by the way, guys, I always try to mention that subscribing to my channel really helps support me. And if you do enjoy this video or find it helpful, hitting the like button also really helps me out. Thanks a lot, guys. Well, hey, look at that. Right off the bat, we got a bunch of brand new Star Wars merch greeting us at one of the entrances to Galaxy's Edge. I do know that there's 2 of kiosks just like these for 2 out of their 3 entrances that you can use to enter Battuu. So, starting our hunt for new merch is this red Star Wars hand-drawn shirt for $34.99. Looks comfortable, had like a good soft fabric to it. Pretty neat lightsaber hat. Kind of discreet, doesn't have to scream Star Wars, but every Star Wars fan is definitely going to know what that symbol means. And let's see how much this hat's going for. We've got $39.99. Nice. Okay, well, it's Nike. It's kind of stretch, flex fit. It's going to breathe. Whoa, if you're a Darth Maul fan, you probably need one of these rad hats with legit horns coming out the front and sides of your hat. Perfect for all of you prequel fans out there. And over on this side, we have 3 different new styles of Star Wars hats. Vader, Mandalorian, and a little bit of Grogu. And pretty unique Boba Fett jersey. Came in a whole bunch of different sizes. Short sleeve, solid texture, $74.99. And I did put this up next to my daughter. It's kind of like a miniature shirt. I think you have to pay a little bit more for getting like less shirt. 26, so regular price for 2/3 of a shirt, but has the like super bright red logo and a whole bunch of hand-drawn Vader. Looks pretty cool. So in this tight little box are 2 6-inch Star Wars Black Series figures of Battle Droid and Clone Trooper in that neat little box. And usually we can see the Black Series, figures through like the clear plastic. We are going to get a close look of what they look like in the next store when we go to the First Order outpost. Wishables, mystery Star Wars figure, squishy toy, and who doesn't love a Loungefly backpack, fun, goofy Star Wars figures on it. Everyone's wearing Loungefly at the parks. Doesn't look like it fits a lot, but I was told they fit more than you think they do. And here's all the solid plastic lightsabers they have available. They're like in the $40 to $50 price range. Great alternative to the Galaxy's Edge metal legacy sabers. Let me know down in the comments if you prefer the solid plastic sabers or if you're a telescoping Star Wars fan. Let me know your preference. And this other little display has probably the thickest lightsaber hilt I've seen ever, which doubles as a water bottle. They do have Luke, or they have the Skywalker version on this side and the Vader version on the other side. And occasionally you'll see an adorable little Grogu riding on somebody's shoulder or on their backs. And because the Grogu comes with a little magnetized pad under his bum, which makes him a fun little friend for you to keep you company in line when you're waiting at the theme parks. Have any of you guys seen that light-colored Porg in any of the films? I haven't. I was wondering to myself, I think that they try to make merch from the films and shows. Let me know down in the comments if you've seen that lighter Porg in any of the shows or movies. Very rad, simple design for the Death Star Mickey ears. And we have a cool vintage colored jersey, R2-D2, number 17, had like that classic jersey feel to the texture. You can kind of see like the vented holes in it. $65 for that. They did have a bunch of different sizes, luckily. I think they keep them pretty stocked. And I also was really stoked to see they've got a new Ewok backpack along with a newer design of the Yoda backpack. $70 for the backpacks. I do have the older version of the Yoda. Super fun, a little bit more decorative. You can maybe hold like one large water bottle inside of them. You know, you can't really put a lot of stuff, maybe a phone and a wallet, maybe a tchotchke or keys or something, but definitely a lower score for the storage-o-meter, but they still have all the magic of Star Wars, so you can't really, you know, they're made for fun. They don't have pads on them or stuff like that. They can't fit like a textbook in them for school. And let's just take a look inside. I'll just show you how much room is really in the Yoda and Ewok backpacks. Once you cut that like foot-long tag, you know, there really just kind of is enough room to put like my hand in there. So just to give you an idea. Very charming and simple. May the Force be with you. Shirt, small, and the price is a complete mystery. But let's just guesstimate, what, 25 to 30, something like that. Now, these keychains, I've heard, are pretty hot sellers. They've had them around for a while, but these are the newest Season of the Force designs. You've got the Skywalker, the Mace Windu, and the double Ahsoka sabers. I did get confirmation that the individual saber keychains are $16 each, and the Ahsokas, which includes 2 sabers, are $26. And I asked the guy how durable they were because it just looks like they're begging to be snapped off like super easy, and he said they haven't really had any defective returns about blades breaking. But if you have that extra large keychain in your pocket, you might be turning some heads, if you know what I'm saying, so just, you know, users beware. And before we go to the next store in Galaxy's Edge, I wanted to give a quick shout out to 2 very awesome personal shoppers that I work with. One at Disneyland and one over in Florida at Disney World. These guys are stand-up guys. They're personal shoppers. They can get you anything you want from the Disney parks and have it delivered directly to your house for just a very small commission fee. Their info is right up here. One's on the gram, one's on Facebook, and I vouch for them, so feel free to hit them up with any questions. And before we go to the first order outpost, why don't we peek inside the Droid Depot, because it's on the way, and see what kind of new Season of the Force merch we can find in here. Here's a generalized look just in case I miss anything. Here's like what kind of stock you're looking at. A lot of new action figures. We're going to take a close look in just a minute. Got plenty of R2 and BB-8s and choppers, depending if you're a fan of the sequels, the original, the animated series. If you haven't been to the Galaxy's Edge yet, they still have a lot of original, like, favorite merchandise, which is great. To match that jersey we saw earlier, they do have another 2/3 of a t-shirt with the vintage, you know, 70s classic R2 design. I know they've had the pit droid for a while. I still had to take a closer look. They make some really cool sounds, and those headlamps I don't think light up. I couldn't get them to, but pretty cute, larger than life action figure toys, whatever you want to call them, along with the fairy droid that we saw in The Mandalorian. So yeah, just want to take some nice wide angle shots of all the merch they had. Unfortunately, they do not have any new of the chips, the different unique voice chips for the droids. Nothing new there, but this bag did look new to me, so I just took a closer look. Looks like it has a separate clear coin pouch and lots of small little pockets in there. Thought that was kind of a cool bag. You know, they usually get new shirts from time to time. I love those metal dome heads for the R2 units, and we have this series of 4 Black Series droid figures for $50 before tax. Those are really cool and unique designs, but man, for like a package of 4 smaller figures for $50, that does seem quite on the pricey side. And then these are kind of new, I believe. C-3PO, R2, more of a, like C-3PO looks accurate, but R2 really has a more vintage look to him. I tried to pick up the audio from C-3PO, but the audio is pretty low and very hard to hear in the store. And they do have plenty of C-3PO like scale heads that I actually did review, along with a couple other newer pieces of merchandise. I'll put a video link to that up above in the corner here. Check that out if you'd like to. Super impressive and very unique souvenir and collectible to have in your room or office. And this guy is the newest droid they have to the Droid Depot, which has a completely unique head and body, which is called the ALT droid. I do believe that somewhere in one of the seasons of The Mandalorian you can find him. Has those really awesome rad triangular tank wheels, and you can extend them so that he kind of grows and stands a bit taller. And that dome does look just like R2, but it does have a unique, kind of like a mix with BB-8 look to him. And you can't buy those parts individually. In case you're wondering, he's just a model that you can only pick by building a droid at the Droid Depot. And why don't we mosey on over to the First Order cargo, where I did find a few new items that I don't believe I have seen before. This guy we have definitely seen. The $250 Stormtrooper bust. Man, you have really got to like Stormtroopers. This type of art, that like flashy red spray painted Stormtrooper art, is some of the new merchandise that you'll see here in this store. And this is what I had mentioned earlier, the Clone Trooper and Battle Droid Black Series from Hasbro. And over here we have two different figures, the Command Droid and the Commander Clone. Two more Black Series. Kind of interesting that Disney doesn't make their own action figures. That kind of seems more like their style. And like I mentioned earlier, guys, in this video, I'm mostly just looking for new merchandise. If you want like a super in-depth and thorough look at all of the merchandise in Galaxy's Edge, check out my most recent video. I'll put that at the end of this one, ready for you guys to watch afterwards. Plenty of pins, and I believe this is a new Darth Vader polo shirt. Very soft fabric, pretty unique design. You're definitely going to stand out as a Star Wars fan. I wouldn't call this subtle by wearing like 500 Darth Vader helmets on your chest. $64.99 for that shirt, but like I said, it was a really nice soft material, comfortable. A lot of these other doodads and doohickeys we have seen before. We've got the Darth Vader mugs, helmets, action figures, and here's a quick recap of their current Black Series helmets: the Moff Gideon, the Stormtrooper Scout, and the classic First Order Stormtrooper helmet up above there. So you can definitely leave this store looking like a trooper. If you are a fan of the Star Wars creatures, unfortunately there are not any new creatures for the Season of the Force. I just thought I'd peek my head in here and take a look at their current stock, which is always full. I think they may have only discontinued maybe one or two creatures since opening day. One of them is that crazy wombat looking thing that attacked Han and Leia and the Falcon in Empire when they were inside of that giant like asteroid worm. Other than that, they're fully stocked on Porgs, Nexus, and Lothcats. Let's just take a little peek in the keychain store, which I also think is called Jewels of Bith. I had seen this very unique Millennium Falcon magnet / bottle opener around the park, which is technically a new piece of merchandise. And I still could not pull the trigger on these Oga's Cantina wooden coasters, although I do have kind of a merch crush on those, not gonna lie. I would love to see those in my office. So just taking a peek, I do believe I found a few limited edition pins in here that are a part of this Season of the Force. As we just take a look around, I want to show you guys, give you a general idea of a lot of the same merch. Maybe the shirts are new here in this store. And I still have always thought that giving a movie poster to Galaxy's Edge is a pretty cool idea, because that poster does look pretty rad. Plenty of pins and keychains, including that Tauntaun. I think I forgot to check that out. And they had two limited edition pins. Here's one of them here, $17.99. And they had like the similar version, except with the Star Wars frogs that we saw in The Mandalorian carrying her little jar of eggs. Same price. I was actually trying to think of a way to display a lot of my favorite Star Wars Galaxy's Edge pins. If you have a good idea, let me know down in the comments. This has probably been around for a while, a wooden translator if you wanted to just have one in your hand, even though I think there's a digital version on the Play app. Some stuffed keychains, and it looks like they're desperately trying to get rid of their Kylo and Rey ornaments left over from the holiday season. Alright, so now let's take a look around at everyone's favorite store filled with lightsabers and all kinds of treasures from the Sith and the Jedi, Dok-Ondar's Den of Antiquities. And just walking in the store here, we already see several items which we've seen many times over the years. Although I do believe I found this Jedi sign up here to the left, which I have not seen before. Very cool, rich, green, metallic color. $49.99 for that, but I mean, come on, that would look cool on anybody's wall. Am I right or am I right? I also got a chance to review this new training remote, which comes with a lightsaber. It's interactive, it's a game, and if I ran out of tags, I'll put a link to that video in the description. It was pretty neat reviewing that like chrome Ren helmet. I couldn't believe how well you could really see out of it, and I'm very surprised that they still have the LED cracked Kylo Ren helmet from The Rise of Skywalker. That looks super cool, and I thought it was limited edition, but not quite. We can kind of see from Darth Maul the way that statue is holding up over time. Those blades are looking a little saggy. And this Darth Vader figure, I believe, is new also. Has kind of a very toy plastic look to it. What's the price of that? If I look down here, $49.99 for that. Kind of a large figure. I don't believe it's in a toy. It just has a toy appearance or style to it. This is definitely new. It has to be carved out of wood. This glorious carved figure also comes with a glorious price tag of $1,800, which has to be one of the top, I don't know, 5 most expensive items ever sold in Galaxy's Edge. And I think it's pretty cool that you could pick up a number of screen-accurate helmets, including the Mandalorian and Sabine Wren. Although I don't believe they let you wear them in the parks, which is kind of interesting. So you're definitely going to have to bag that up or have it shipped over to your hotel or to one of the customer service desks. Definitely some new art, $3.99 for Boba Fett's starship. And again, the similar kind of spray painted, retro, very colorful artwork featuring different characters from the shows and movies. And now to everyone's favorite part, the lightsabers. Feast your eyes on all of the Galaxy's Edge lightsabers. Man, I wonder if they're ever going to replace this glass case that has been scratched to death. So, I'm kind of surprised there that the Wookiee saber is $130 because it seems like most of these sabers have a minimum price of about a $159 price tag. Getting a close look at all these price tags here for you, and of course they go up to like probably about $250, with of course the box sets costing more. Right over here to the left, I'm really happy that they did release the Anakin Padawan lightsaber individually. However, they still have not released the DV, the Darth Vader 3 saber from the Anakin box set, which never ever gets released individually. You'll have to find the box set for that saber if you want to have a complete set. I did find out that out of all the box sets, the Mara Jade is selling the best. They are out of Plo Koon and Luminar Unduli sabers, which is no surprise because I think they were liquidating those. And they are currently low on Mace Windu and Darth Maul lightsabers. They said the last Maul was actually in the case, and whoever bought it was going to be taking home the display. Alright guys, here are some of the Season of the Force items I was not able to find during my trip, because these are all in Oga's Cantina, which you either need a reservation for before your trip, or you can show up and add your name to a standby line, but you can only get these from inside of Oga's Cantina. Definitely have a huge crush on the coaxium bottle and container, but unfortunately I was unable to go into Oga's on this particular trip. So I definitely will be reaching out to my personal shoppers to help me obtain a few of these treasures, because if you guys have been watching my videos, you probably know I love Star Wars mugs and sippers. Now, if I had seen this gorgeous Yoda Jedi tumbler, I would have bought this in a heartbeat. But the one place I didn't get a chance to eat on my trip was at the Galactic Grill. That's definitely a stop you're going to want to check out. They always have fun souvenirs and collectibles there, but especially the newer Season of the Force ones, like this amazing tumbler. And by the way, the Galactic Grill is the large burger joint over in Tomorrowland next to the submarines. And the Death Star popcorn bucket is one of a few that you might have seen pictures of already. Everyone was going crazy for these things, and they look way, way cooler in the dark. Check out this footage. This bucket looks 10 times cooler in the dark when you can see all those little tiny lights, tons of detail, and when you hit like the activation button, every one of those little bars will light up and the Death Star fires. So pretty neat and unique collectible for only like $35 about, I think. So I realized when I got home, I looked everywhere and could not find these Jawa and Clone Trooper popcorn buckets because they will not be released until May the 4th. And of course, the glorious Tauntaun bucket just got released yesterday, so I was unable to get my hands on it and check it out in person. Now it's time for the Toydarian Toymaker, very quaint little store over next to the popcorn. And I do believe I found a couple other new pieces of merchandise, which I also saw all around the park, but I think I showcased it pretty good. Oh, right over here, they had new Fennec Shand and Ahsoka Tano figures. Sorry about the glare there, folks. They claim to be special edition, $49.99 each. I think I would call them an action figure. They look posable. I did see them in several stores around the parks on my trip, and I thought this was, who knows if this is brand new, tell me in the comments, but this was a pretty unique and fun battle horn from the Ewoks that we see or hear in Return of the Jedi, and I think you do blow in it, and it does make crazy horn sounds. So although they didn't have any new merchandise in the Black Spire Outfitters for Season of the Force, I did confirm with the employee that the deep brown cloak was officially inspired by Luke Skywalker in Return of the Jedi, which some people argue is a little bit black to match his outfit, but you can kind of tell in Jabba's palace it has a deep brown color when he's in the light. And last but not least, I had to visit the Resistance Supply, which is located way out by the entrance of Rise of the Resistance, where there's two large kiosks packed with fun, unique merchandise, everything from Han Solo's shirt to Leia's camouflage poncho from Return of the Jedi, and they always are chock full of Rebel helmets of different styles and colors. But I thought I would take a look over here. I'm really glad that they do spread the merchandise out, so you don't have to walk clear across to one particular store if you like that cool blue underbelly of the Falcon shirt. They put it in a couple of different places just to save you a little bit of time. Now, I think these came out last year. They're a little bit new to me. It does say that they do communicate. Comment down below if you can really use these as a walkie-talkie. They look so much like what Lando has on his wrist in The Empire Strikes Back on Bespin. But I thought that would be really cool if they were actual walkie-talkies. Let's get kids off their screens outside getting dirty with walkie-talkies. What do you say? All right, let's take a look at this other kiosk over here. What do you guys see that's new? You know, a couple of shirts, that brown hat maybe. But this one kind of caught my eye. Classic Chewbacca C-3PO with a large patch right on the chest there that I believe is sewn. $39 for that shirt. You know, guys, and don't forget, they also sell sweatshirts and blankets because, hey, sometimes you forget that extra layer and you forget how cold it can get in Southern California in April. So sometimes you're shopping not just for fun, but also for survival when you're on your trip. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching the end of my video. I appreciate you guys. That wraps up my hunting for new merchandise in Galaxy's Edge in 2025 video. Please leave a comment, hit the like button if you enjoyed it, and until next time, you guys take care, be safe, and have an awesome Star Wars day.